Hey everybody, welcome back to Marshall RC. We are here today at White Rose Hobbies. I just want to do a quick little video on the TRX-6, more of a spec video, a little Q&A that people have been sending me a bunch of questions or asking questions, either Facebook, YouTube, in person, whatever the case may be. So I just want to cover kind of some of the specs on this thing. One of the things that most people have been asking is the wheelbase. So I've been asked the wheelbase from the front wheel all the way to the rear, and then from the front to the middle axle. So the overall wheelbase from the front wheel, or from the front axle to the back axle, is about 430 millimeter. It's right around the 17 and 7/8 mark. The wheelbase from the front axle to the middle axle is, one note here, is about 304, 305, right around there. No, that's not right. Let me correct myself. About 317, 318 millimeter, right around that mark. And again, that is from the front axle to the middle axle, and then the longer wheelbase that I gave you, which was the 430, is from the front to the rear. So that's the one big thing that everyone's been asking. Another one a lot of people have been asking are the height from the bottom of the tire to the top of the tire. That's about 110 millimeter is the tire height for that. These are a little bit different wheels. We're actually going to take one of these wheels off here in a minute and actually break it down, because they are glued tires, even though from the outside they look to be actual beadlocks. And then in my unboxing video, someone noticed a screw on the inside of the wheel, and they thought they were beadlocks, but they're not. And I'll explain. We'll take that off and explain what that is here in a second. Some of the other questions that have been asked was the approach angle and the steering angle, and I have my phone here, which I have the little app for this. Let it load. All right, so I got this little app right here that does steering angle. So it looks like on the front, I normally have a piece of board or something with this. But it's looking like on the front you're going to get about we're in the neighborhood of 52, 53. See if I can grab something, make that a little bit more accurate. Here we go. No, that's about 53, 54 for the front. And then the rear, we're looking at bear with me here. For the rear, you're looking at about 46, 47 departure angle. Steering, you're looking at about 45 from what I've seen on the box. I didn't measure that or put an angle on or anything on that, but that's about what I've seen from boxes, stuff like that. Looking at about that 45-degree angle. Okay. This battery out of here. The other question I had a lot of people ask was the weight. I weighed it. It came in around 9 pounds, 11 ounces with a 5000 3S battery in it. So it's really not that bad, all things considered. Another question that people wanted to know was the length of the actual chassis itself. It's going to be a little hard to get, but I'll get as close as I possibly can to at least get a little bit of a idea on what we're going. There's the end. So you're looking at about 23 and a half inches, about 23 and a half inches from end of chassis rail to end of chassis rail. Now, if you want like an actual measurement from like front of bumper, which will be obviously a little different, we are looking at about 25 and a half inches from front to rear. So it's definitely a long truck. Definitely needs some room to maneuver. But as you guys hopefully seen the running video, it's really not that bad. You just gotta really learn how to work those diffs. So for the wheels, it has this little hub in the center, or protector. There's a little spot that happens to be right here. There you can see it. To put like a flathead or your fingernail or whatever the case may be, just put it in there and you can pop it right out. So I'm going to actually go ahead and take the wheel off of this side. It'll be a little easier for me to work. So you pop that off. It just has this little piece right here. There is an O-ring in there that actually sits in there and helps protect some of the internals from some damage or water getting in there, I guess. Takes standard 7mm driver. Take the wheel nut off. Take that off. And then, so here's the inside, and if I can get the right angle, you can kind of see in there. Get something to point to it. Down in here. Lost it. There we go. Are little Allens in there. You kind of see in there. You take those off. We're going to go ahead and pop them off real quick. This is a multi-part wheel. It's just, they're not bead locks. It's just the way the wheel goes together, the way the wheel's designed, and how the wheel looks. It just has more of a beadlock look to it, especially on the outside of the wheel, not necessarily on the inside. On the inside, you can very much tell that it is still a glued wheel. But it is a really neat design. These tires are also exclusive to this truck. The tires are pre-vented, like most RTRs, like every other axial, or not axial, my goodness. Well, yeah, axial too, but just like any other TRX-4 would be. So if you watch my unboxing, you heard me call it a TRX-4. If you were quick on the draw to see like the running video or the unboxing video, the titles were TRX-4. And that's because if you've seen it, I showed the box. The box actually for the first delivery says TRX-4 on it. Apparently what happened was they ordered their first round of trucks, and while they were in the air on the way to the United States, Traxxas decided to change the name to TRX-6, which makes sense because 6 wheels, right? So technically speaking, if you're one of them lucky people to get a first delivery, technically it's a misprint box because it is not a TRX-4. It is a TRX-6. So just a little bit of information. All right, so I got all the screws out. There is six of them. Yep, one in each of those things. Then this outer ring pops off, and then here is your wheel. Okay, it has just has a red ring around it, and then this part sits on the front to kind of give it that added, that added design, that added look. And then you of course have the center cap, which goes in there like that. So it is a three-piece. It's a three-piece wheel design. It just happens to not be a beadlock, which is a little disappointing because most at this point we're all fans of beadlocks. We're all running beadlocks, but it does look good. I really hope Traxxas at some point offers this up as a beadlock somehow. I think it would look really nice as a beadlock. These tires, again, exclusive to this truck. These tires are also a little bit different than most. Let me step by. I was not quite prepared for this. Let me grab another wheel and tire quick. All right. So this is a standard 1.9. This is a standard 1.9 wheel. As you can see, this is actually a 2.2. However, the wheel's a 2.2 by dimensions. The tire is still a 1.9 tire. And I walked over there and didn't grab my tire. So the tire is actually still a 1.9 size tire. This tire I said was about 110 millimeter tall, which is also about 4.75. Most time max for class 2. This is a Boom Racing Hustler. This is 4.7 tall, 4.75 tall, and they are the same height. That is because this is a 1.9 tire designed to sit on a 2.2 rim. As you can see, the differences in the size of the hole where the wheel sits. If you were to put this on this rim, you'd be stretching these a lot more, whereas these technically aren't stretched. It's just the tire is designed to go on a 2.2. Or so you can either look at it as it's an oversized 1.9 tire, or look at it as a low profile 2.2. However it makes sense in your head is how you can justify that. So here's what I'll say, back to this truck in particular. The other question I get a lot, been getting a lot, are the two rear axles. The two rear axles actually operate independently as one axle as far as locking and unlocking. I actually covered that in the unboxing. Other than that, guys, most of it's the same as any other TRX-4. So hopefully that answers your questions. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next one.